Indigenous people from throughout Canada and other people from throughout Canada and the world. And this makes Inuvik a great place to live. So with committee of the whole meeting, just taking a quick look at the agenda. Anything else that people would like to add to the agenda? Seeing nothing. Item number 3, declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest with any of the agenda items. Seeing nothing. Delegations, presentations, and petitions. If we're good, will we have an RCMP report Wednesday?
I haven't gotten it yet.
I've got it, so may not have it. Well, question period, we're good. Item number 6, adoption of the minutes. Any changes needed on the minutes from the January 26, 28 meeting? Seeing none. Action items. Cindy, any follow-up on the action items?
Still waiting to hear back about our community plan and zoning bylaw. We did talk to the assessors to determine if we're changing any of the zones. So that's for further discussion. They're aware that we're going to do it. We're just going to hold off until we hear about our community plan and then have a more robust discussion with them later about that. The public education post and infrastructure with regard to the stop signs, we're still working on that. The infrastructure did go around and compile a list of the street lights. And Daniel said that he couldn't see any that were broken, but there are some dark areas in town where another street light would be a good idea. So we kind of have 2 lists, ones that are broken. So municipal enforcement is also looking at those. And then one where there's dark areas to see what NTPC or what we could do with NTPC to get a couple of areas more lit. That's where it's at right there. And then the Christmas tree, obviously that's just coming off of it. You know, it's pretty much daylight. So I'm going to be pulling the plug on that very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, they've already taken down the snow.
Yeah.
They're down.
The snowflakes and stuff.
Snowflakes are down. Okay, any questions on any of the action items? 8.1, new business request for council decision, reschedule February 25th regular council meeting to the February 23rd. So this, because that meeting falls, the Wednesday falls on when Councillor Gillis, Councillor Merrill, myself, Cindy will be in Yellowknife for the NWT Association of the Community meeting. And so rather than risk not having quorum, but rather than have the committee of the whole meeting on Monday, we would just have the regular council meeting. So it may be a little bit longer in some of the discussions to make decisions, but it may also be a pretty light meeting. That's what that is about. Still allows us to have a council meeting, but just not the committee of the whole beforehand. Any questions, comments? Straightforward. 8.2, property tax auction on the list of properties. This is something we do every year, although this list is considerably shorter than the list last year. So we're wearing down the list one way or the other. Any questions, comments? Deputy Mayor Barrett.
I just got a quick question. I mean, it's nice to see the list is a lot smaller than usual. Just in our regular sort of process for how we are notifying people in arrears, one of the things we've done in the past for many, many years is to publish a list in the Inuvik Drum. Now we no longer have a local newspaper. So I wonder if there's something else we should be thinking about doing to make up for the fact that that paper is no longer around. I don't know if we would want to publish in the News North. It doesn't really seem appropriate to do it in the territorial-wide newspaper.
And it's quite expensive to do that as well. Like whenever we have to post something in New York, what's the, you don't get bills? Like it's a couple of times to do it with the News North. Now, we do have it posted physically at the town hall as well as the post office.
Mhm.
And quite possibly we could put it on our website if I'm not mistaken. But that is actually a discussion that we were having with Matt as part of there was a committee to talk about taxation and stuff. And we were saying like paper newspapers aren't around anymore. And we have to take a look at their requirement for doing that as well. So there is going to be some changes that way, but other than physically posting them on the obvious bulletin boards,
Mhm.
the only other option we really have is to go with New North or to look at posting them on our Facebook, or sorry, our website.
Website. Yeah, this one, in fairness to the taxpayers that are in arrears, to just give them every opportunity to be notified that they are in fact in arrears.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, just trying to think about how we could
Yeah,
address.
we do. We started this year as well, started last year as well, but this year for sure. Anybody who is in arrears for 2025,
Mhm.
Carly is our lands officer is actually reaching out to them to say, hey, just a reminder. And so she's actually reaching out to them via mail, email, and telephone as well. Because some of them seem odd, and it could be that they either forgot or not. So we usually give them the benefit of the doubt and a heads up now before we even post. Because so what happens sometimes is it gets posted and then people see it and then they come in. But even before it gets posted, give the people a chance to come in, give them a heads up before it gets publicly posted as well, just to give some respect and dignity, right? Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Just one question on the list. All of these on the list here were on the list last year, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah.
So we don't have any new properties that have now kicked on to 2 years.
No, that will be for next year. So those are the ones that are on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems, I mean, I appreciate the small list, but it just seems strange that there were none other properties that turned over into owing taxes for 2 years. But, okay. I guess the other thing, Deputy Mayor Barrett, most of these have been abandoned,
Mhm.
or the 5 of them have been abandoned for quite a while, so those property owners likely know, because they would have gone through this for several years. The 2 on Chucksay, those people are out of town and they're not coming back, and likewise with the 3 on Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's more of a procedural question than
Yeah.
anything specific to this, but.
Yeah, I kind of implemented that in the next little bit because it's like one more chance to pick up the phone, talk to them, remind them before it goes on publicly. Yeah.
Okay, say 283, request for council decision, and then we have to also appoint an auctioneer for them. And so that will be Cynthia. Moving now to bylaws 9.1, third reading of bylaw. This is the utility right away for Northview. We gave first and second reading on that already. Any questions, comments? 9.2, the amendment for the Water Sewer Administration Management Operations bylaw non-payment shut-off timeline. This is new. Cindy, do you want to just go over?
So in the finance committee meeting, we had discussed in our bylaw right now, it says that we can shut off water, but there wasn't a time frame of which to do it. And then we took a look at what the security deposit is basically 3 months. So because it wasn't clear, it was kind of arbitrary when we would turn something off or not. So in the committee meeting, we decided a 3-month cutoff. And if you look at 8.20 in it, Jenna included the entire bylaw, but it's section 8.20 where it talks about that. And we really just changed the wording. If you look, it was rather vague, where it just said we can at our discretion, but we've just cleared it up that it is 3 months and then your water will get turned on.
Yeah. This is what we have over there.
And that's the only change to the bylaw, was just having a time frame.
Yeah, where this has become an issue, and we're still dealing with it, is because if the person with the water account was a tenant and we didn't cut the water off, and that continued to collect a debt, and then the landlord didn't know the tenant had the debt, and the tenant moved on somewhere or left town, and then we go to the landlord and say, oh, by the way, you owe us $8,000 for the water bill. And then they're saying, we didn't know about that. Why didn't somebody tell us? So,
And we've made it much more obvious, even though it is in the application that the landlord signs off that they are aware of it. We've made it blatantly obvious. So there is no small print.
We have to sign it.
And they have to sign acknowledging that if their tenant is in arrears, they are the ones responsible. So this will kind of nip it in the bud in terms of 3 months, even if they're in arrears just for the 3 months, at least it's not as big a hit.
Mhm.
and then we're increasing the deposit slightly so that it covers at least 2 of those 3 months. So the landlord one will be notified, but also the town has a deposit that should cover a large portion of that bill if somebody does walk away or doesn't pay it. But we've got much better leverage now in order to get people to pay. Otherwise, we won't have water. And then I think the implementation of that is June, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
We will
by the
put that
time,
notification out, and then come June, anybody in arrears, effective June, your water will be cut off if you were in more than 3 months in arrears.
basically it gives you March, April, May as far as those 3 months. That'll be about the time we get through, third reading. Questions, comments? Okay. Item number 10, we don't have any department reports. Item number 11, information items. Information items from any of the counselors. We don't have any further information, I don't think. No. Item number 12, council concerns. Councilor McDonald.
Dan, just with the rec center, I'm curious, the hot tub coming again. I don't know if we have any information. We don't have any of our directors here, but, we're
I can
with
find
that.
out, I
And
know that
then,
they were working on the flange and the drain the last time that Daniel was here. I'll just see where they're at with that.
okay. And then my other question was last week, I wasn't here on the Wednesday, or 2 weeks ago, so I had a Wednesday meeting. And we understand that I texted Jen, I think, and asked why the pool was closed, and she said there was a chemical issue and it should have been open a day later is what she had said, discussed at the meeting.
Mhm.
And it was a week later, before the pool opened.
Was it?
It was a week, yeah. I'm just wondering if we can find an answer. I just find that maybe we don't have the proper people dealing with some of the chemicals, because it's my understanding that maybe it was shocked, and shock should be 24 hours, not 7 days. So I don't know what happened exactly, but people are getting upset, I guess. Residents are getting upset with these kind of things that may be avoidable.
I'll find out for you.
Any other council concerns? Besides cold weather? Cold weather and batteries, I think Hawks and Napa are doing well on batteries. Thank goodness they've got a truckload in. Councilor McDonald.
Yeah, just one other question too. I see our crews out steaming utilities. There's a section by the Parks duplex, the new Parks duplex there on where the patch was. So I think they've been there 2 or 3 times now. So there's obviously a larger problem with that utility section. Just wondering if we have any idea.
You mean the utilidor section or the?
Sorry, utility door section, yeah. So I don't know for sure, but it seems like there's some open sections of the utilidor, which is causing an issue, and so instead of fixing that issue, we're going back and steaming the utilidors. Just another question to check for department heads on.
I can ask that as well.
Yeah. But just clarification of, is that coming from that existing row house or the actual utilidor?
The utilidor that feeds, so it used to feed the delinquent houses there, so it stops. It's there, that's where it was shut off, but we still use it now to feed the duplex. But the section after the duplex where it used to feed, and I don't exactly know, but all I know that it's been frozen up 2 or 3 times now. So our crews are going
Hmm,
and then they're coming back. And the last I heard, which is that, oh, maybe we should put a bleeder on it, which I don't totally agree with either. Like, it's not a fix. Like, I think there's holes in the utility that where wind's blowing in and freezing our utility door, sorry. But anyway, it's just something, instead of constantly using our resources, just fix the problem if we can.
mhm, yeah. Okay. Any other council concerns? Seeing none, we don't have any in-camera items, so we are there. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilor Merrow, seconded by Councilor McDonald. All in favor? Thanks, everyone.
Then we have to go back to the time.
For tomorrow,